For ages, I have waited. For this moment, the planets have aligned and a new sun dawns, as the gods smile upon us humble gamers and bring us Andromeda. Finally, the much anticipated BioWare game is here. Time to sit back and slip into the immersive, fantastic, ball-tingling, mind-blowing universe that is Mass Effect.
Alright, so I'm sure you're well aware of the glitch face simulator that was released recently. Now I'm not going to go on some big rant, but I'm going to make a few points here. As everyone probably already knows, BioWare games in general have always been about a truly immersive experience and have usually done a great job at doing that. Look no further than classics like the KOTOR series, as well as Neverwinter Nights, all the way to more recent years with games like Dragon Age and all the previous Mass Effect titles. So when not even 10 minutes into the game, you notice the default female character, Sarah Ryder, looks like she just smoked crack and is constantly tweaking out as her face twitches and eyes dart around the room.
He better. 600-year nap and he oversleeps.
You know him. Never was an early riser.
As you can see, it's a little fucking ridiculous, to say the least, and pretty disappointing. Now that being said, I don't personally ever really play a female character, so I didn't have to suffer as much. Not that the male side of things was much better. Now this is all because of them implementing an algorithm to map the facial features rather than spend the time and money to edit them by hand. And I get it's hard to stay on budget and you need to save money, but if you're going to cheap out on parts of the game, don't make it the parts of the game that the player is basically going to be spending the most time paying attention to, that being the cutscenes and the dialogue, as they happen to be quite important in Mass Effect, as you have to make game-changing decisions that are supposed to be dramatic, but in Andromeda are hard to take seriously with the lackluster look on some of the faces, especially that of the main characters. And it wasn't just the faces, but some of the characters just didn't seem to fit into the context of the universe. For example, the first Krogan you run into is a feminine sounding homo. And let me be clear, I have no problem with a Krogan being gay. But Jesus Christ, he shouldn't sound like some sort of fairy. He's a Krogan. He shouldn't be like, hey honey, how's it going kinda gay. He should be like, I'm gonna get in that ass, sucker, kinda gay. You know what I mean? I was, however, impressed with the new aliens known as the Ket for their overall style and design, so kudos to BioWare on that one. I'll admit I was a little skeptical heading into this, as I had first watched Crowbcat's video highlighting some pretty hilarious glitches, and luckily myself, I didn't run into anything too game-breaking. So when I first started the game, I chose to make a custom male character, as I had in previous Mass Effect titles, from some pretty weird looking presets. But luckily they give you some adequate tools for editing your character's facial features and hair. Nothing too spectacular, but it gets the job done. Once done editing your looks, you can go and choose the type of class you'll be using for the beginning of the game, all of which give different bonuses for different playstyles. And then you can edit your twin if you like. It doesn't do it for you, matching it to your character's appearance using an algorithm, and that's probably a good thing to be honest. Instead they thought they would entrust me to use a default or to edit my twin manually. And well, I just got lazy and picked an Asian lady for the twin sister to my white ginger character. Yeah, so that bit of immersion breaking was my fault, but whatever. As the game starts, you watch the introduction, where you get the gist of the story. You and your twin have tagged along with your cyborg father, trying to find a new homeworld for humanity, as well as the Council alien races, only to run into some rather unsavory alien types. I really enjoy the premise, as it does not feel like Mass Effect 4, and definitely feels like its own game with its own new adventure. After you waken out of your cryosleep, having been under for 600 years, probably dreaming about where the first Asari is that you can try and bang, I ran into my first problem. The first NPC I have to interact with bugs out and gets stuck, as does the next one, and this is right at the start of the game. While on the ship, the game takes you through some basic mechanics, like the new scanner. Once you're done, and finally, after all that bullshit, you reach the surface of your new homeworld, and you start to appreciate this game more. As you can see, they have done a phenomenal job with overall graphics and level design, as it just looks stunning. Shit's danky doodle, son. As you progress through levels, in between slaughtering Ket, you will come across different paths to explore to get to your objective. Stumbling across new alien technology to scan along the way, you will get a sense of exploration not as common in the older games, as this one leaned more towards an open world, and I am personally a big fan. Okay, now for the combat. If you're familiar with Mass Effect games, it's going to feel very similar in general, besides the new automatic cover system, which can be a little finicky at times, leaving you acting retarded in a firefight, clipping onto cover as you try to move, but feels fine once you get used to it. Now, one new addition to to the game that's just fantastic, besides the new abilities, was the jetpack. It adds a whole new vertical aspect to combat, allowing you to do moves like a jump smash, as well as hover where you can fire your weapon, which can be useful for shooting over obstacles. It can also be used just to get up and out of danger when things get shicey. Overall, adds a whole new depth to combat throughout the game, as well as just exploration in general. The game features all the same 4 weapon classes: pistol, shotgun, assault rifle, and sniper, just like the last games, which was nice of them to leave untouched. This time around, however, you can only equip 3 skills at a time, which I believe has something to do with simplifying multiplayer, which would make sense to me, though it doesn't explain why it's the same in single player. I noticed a lot of other players have found this to be annoying. I, however, didn't really mind that much. When it comes to multiplayer, games like Overwatch basically operate on the same style of 2 to 3 powers for each character and are still fun to play. The multiplayer in this game operates the same as Mass Effect 3 by joining a squad and having to fight waves of enemies while completing small objectives. It can be rather difficult and requires a good amount of teamwork. If at any point it gets too easy, you can always pick a higher difficulty. As you complete matches, you will receive MP credits that you can use in store to buy crates of different quality that will unlock random items ranging from new characters to special items like health packs and instant revives. There is an option for using real money to buy loot packs, so unfortunately there is a bit of play to win aspect, though it's pretty minor. Overall, I gotta say I really enjoy the multiplayer. Now that about sums up my quick review of Andromeda. So I personally was really hoping that this game would be great, and I'm on the optimistic side of things, hoping that BioWare will be able to come out with some good patches to fix glitches, as well as go through and do some editing of facial features throughout cutscenes to help improve game quality. Though this game definitely has some awesome aspects and is a lot of fun to play, it's hard not to be bumped out of immersion every time you open up some dialogue. Not only the face bugs, but just general writing and responses available to said writing were definitely less than what I expected, but not terrible. Now, before you knock it, you should at least try the trial version available on Origin Access, which if you don't have is just $5 a month subscription, which you can cancel once you're done the 10-hour trial. It's what I would do if you're not sure if you still want to buy the game or not. I would like to know what you guys think about the face animation, and if you think BioWare took a step in the right direction when it comes to their attempt to make a realistic looking face, and if you would like to see better attempts in the future, or if you would rather just see them tone it down to a lower quality to completely avoid the problem in the future. I will be covering the game as updates come out, and we'll make a full-length review later on. So thanks for watching, comment, like, and subscribe, and take it easy. Bye now.